For me, you just have to believe in yourself that there's actually a hope, and you always think positive. When you think of negative, it will eat you. But at the same time, if you change your mindset to, you know what, I'm gonna get this thing, and your body, your mind will just like, yeah, we're gonna get this done. You know.
Yeah.
So start with that. Like, just one tip: in the morning when you wake up, don't ever think of negative. Just think of any positive thought. Like, you know what? I'm gonna drink coffee, and when I see someone, I'm gonna say hi.
Yeah.
I'll always be cheerful or anything positive, even though you're not feeling well or good. Believe me, it will help you. And then do it always. It's a habit. It's a good habit.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of RAYZE and Uplift. It's a podcast where we bring in some of the most amazing people that I could find, especially around here in the Philippines, to talk about what makes them a success. And today, I am happy to have Giselle Mismanos, or AKA JM DeGeneres. And I gotta tell you, I love her. I really do. I mean, she is truly amazing, inspiring. And I have met her years ago during a Tony Robbins event in Singapore. And we actually even created a social media brand company, you know, prior to the pandemic. But then after but then when the pandemic hit, everything kind of like, but it's okay because it was meant to be. It was meant for us to be able to expand and explore ourselves and to create a whole new different brand and company. And I am so happy that she is now with me here at her studio. Actually, it's the living room of her house. But, you know, it's absolutely perfect. But JM is here to talk to us a little bit about, and most importantly, what makes her, you know, I was really happy and I want to show this, but this is great. So this is the Empower magazine, okay? It's a real nice mag. And she actually has been sponsored, or she'd actually been on the back cover. All right. And since then, she has she's a trainer in helping businesses and people create their online community. But also, most importantly, she does motivation. She does leadership training. She consults and advises leaders of corporations. And she's also a personal development coach. And so that's why I am so glad to be here. Flew all the way from Singapore, but now she's now living in the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
And I am so happy because I'm in the Philippines too, and together we'll be able to train and motivate the masses here. So, without any further ado, I give to you JM DeGeneres. So thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, guys. I'm here in the Philippines. I'll see you soon. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have here? So, yeah, I'm JM DeGeneres. Actually, the crowd call me JM DeGeneres because, you know, when they ask me about IT stuff and all those things, for me, it's easy to share because that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna help you this and that, and then people were like, wow, this person is so generous. I want to learn more about you. So that's where I started. But I didn't start as like this, of course. So
Yeah.
I also started like when I was in Singapore. I was working as an IT automation manager in one of the largest banks in Germany. And that's an employment whereas they would bring me to New York every year, you know, to train my brain
Yeah.
and then go back to Asia and, you know, implement those trainings for 7 countries in Asia.
Wow.
And it's not easy because I'm working in a bank. I mean, if there's no operation in the bank, I'm dead. That's my job. So it's
Yeah.
really crucial. And during that time, I was like working Singapore time, which is actually same time as Philippines, and New York time because I have to report to my team. And it was so tiring. Like, I'm not sure if you've noticed my eyes, like panda eyes. And there was a time where I was like, "Ah, I'm so tired. And, you know, I have no regret because I learned a lot from the company and my job. I love my job and they really support me well. And when it comes to salary as well, it's good. But the thing about person in this world is you always have this calling. And I think that moment when there was a time was when I was just sitting in my office table and I was like having this question. Okay,
Yeah.
is this it? Is there anything else? What could I have done more?
In life.
in life? That's the big question I was asking myself. Like I'm all good, I'm really comfortable. And the other thing about being comfortable is, you're not growing anymore. When you reach a part where as you've done everything that you always dream of, and you just say, okay, I'm good, but it's
Yeah.
not really it. There's always the next level, and that's where I got into this point where as I asked that question, and then suddenly poof, here I am in front of this camera, doing a lot of things outside corporate job, and
Yeah.
it's like the opposite of it. So
I think that's really remarkable because there's a lot of people like that. They're stuck at their jobs, and deep down inside themselves, in their heart, in their mind, they say to themselves, is this it in life? I want more. How do I get more? Where do I go? How do I grow? And like you said earlier, if you're not growing, you're dying. It's like a tree, you know. If a tree is not growing, it's dying. And that's the same thing with people. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? You might be 30, but you're waiting till you're 70 to get buried because you're already dead, right? So the only way to get out is you got to personally grow. And that's how you gotten yourself into the personal development
yeah.
field, right? And she went from a simple IT, right, working for a big bank, to now becoming an up and coming rising star in training and motivating field, right? And I am so glad for you to be here.
Thank
Okay,
you.
because it's only a matter of time. I believe that by the end of this year, next year, you're going to be much more well known throughout the Philippines and even maybe even beyond. To be able to share with others not only your wisdom and your experience, but also your some of your talents, right?
Think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was that very first program that you got yourself involved in?
Well, my friend introduced to me this training called Millionaire Mind Intensive.
By T. Harv Eker, right?
Yeah, they have Ecker. And I was like, what's this? I don't know
Yeah.
anything about personal development. So I just tried it. I attended like 5 times before I was even convinced. Like 5 times they always give me ticket, come, join, join. And I was like, I have work. And I said, okay, okay, I'll go. And then there's this thing, a course they call it Train the Trainer.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
I took that course too.
What's this? Train a trainer? I like the sound. And I didn't know that inside my heart, I am meant to do that. So that's where I was drawn. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this. And the rest is history.
This is you deep down inside. Instead of you, tapping the keyboards on your laptop, you are now actually speaking on stage. You know how much courage that takes? An amazing amount of courage. They said that people would rather die than speak in public, right?
I heard that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, could you imagine? You'd rather be dead than being caught alive on stage, right? But you jumped out of your comfort zone.
I
What
don't know.
did that take?
I think it's more of a curiosity and finding ways to make myself better.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, that we have all our calling. Some people do the training in corporate job and that's it. But for me, I guess it's different. So I have to go out so that people would know that, hey guys, there's actually a solution to your problem. And here I am, an IT person, ready to help you. But I didn't know that. But people recognize that. People sees that in me. And when I was like enjoying my training, people come to me slowly.
They were drawn to you.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just asking me, hey, you want to help with this? And say, oh, sure, no problem. Let's have lunch. Okay, as long as it's free, I'm fine. So yeah, it started there. And then there was this time where as I met a businessman. I'm not going to give name, but he owns a yacht who brings yacht to the prince and all those big people. And he's struggling with his IT, like his system, the back end, for like 2 years. And then he kind of like drawn to me, like big guy, 6 foot, and say, hey, Caucasian, by the way, can you help me? I say, what do you want? And then we're sitting there like 30 minutes, and I was like, you know what? You just do this, do this, do this. Just follow the steps.
Yeah.
And I do like process, like follow the step 1 and 2, you'll never get wrong. And then he did that, and the next day he came to me and, wow, you just saved 2 years of my time in just 30 minutes? Who are you? I want to hire you. And right there and then, he wrote a check
Yeah.
and gave me $10,000 and say, here's the money. You have no way to say no. Just help me out. And I was like, wow, I could actually, earn from my talent. And that's where I started, helping people, business leaders, and as a consultant and as a coach. And I didn't know that there's this thing called coach or consultant that time, because I'm an IT. It's just
Yeah.
a simple job for me, but I didn't realize that it's a big help outside corporate job. And there are a lot of people or business leaders suffering from this because they didn't know what to do, because their IT people left them, or they know how to figure it out. So I
Right.
just kind of like guide them. So yeah, that's where I started.
And it's more than just IT, because as much as you could go out there and train and help people with their computer-based problems, right? You're also now helping people with their heart-based and mindset-based problems, right? To be able to train them and inspire them and motivate them to be their personal best. I think that's one of the things I was drawn to you, right? Is because you were um, dead set on helping and empowering other people, right? So now you've moved on from more of the IT consultant and you're into the more of the heart mind consulting,
Yeah.
right?
How did it happen?
Yeah, that's interesting to know.
You know what? Actually, when I was teaching technicals, people don't understand me. Like, you just do it for me. And I said, no, you have to learn. You have to learn how to fish. I'm not gonna always gonna give you the fish. What if I'm gone? Even my clients in the Philippines, when I'm Singapore, say you really have to learn this, because I cannot be with you always.
Yeah.
So I got drawn of what's wrong with these people. So that's where I get to learn, learning about the people's mindset, why they're not motivated, why they're not moving. And I'm already giving the skills and the tools. And I realized that not they have their own personal reason to do this. So I started doing coaching so I could motivate them and convince them that this is actually the solution. Are you ready? It seems that they are not really ready because there's something inside of them that's stuck. So what I usually do is, that's where I got this thing, clarity session, like clarity call, and why do
Yeah.
you want me to help you?
Yeah.
That's where I started, and that's where I started, get amazed of people's personality and their concerns about life. That actually leaders, to be specific, leaders has their own personal concerns and issues as well. And in order for them to achieve or execute their technicalities or their job, it has to be balanced, like their personal issues might affect their job. And that's what's happening when I was doing coaching with these leaders. They're like, I can feel them like, what's wrong? Are
Yeah.
you stuck? They're not really like, no, I'm not a techie. No, it's not that. Because for me, I can also say, this is jargon to me, finances. I don't know anything about financials. So I'm also a non-techie for financials. But what I wanted to share is just to give you a clarity first, why you want to do this, and why do you want me to help you. And then there's their purpose, there's their objective. And they will just say, you know what, because I have like 100 employees and I don't know what to do if this system will go down. I cannot pay them. Then there's the personal reason. Then I say, okay, then I'm gonna help you to fix this. But you have to help yourself first. So you have to give me what's your reason, how do we do this. So once we have this clarity, and then the person will like, okay, I'm good. Then he's motivated to do this solution with me, and then poof, results are coming out, and he will
Yeah.
just say me, oh my God, JM, are you really an IT? Because you changed my life just talking to me in personal life. And I didn't realize that it's really helping me
Yeah.
doing my job as a leader. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where it all started.
Wow, I think that is so amazing, because there's a lot of people out there who wants to hear that kind of message, right? Because many of them are stuck, whether it's a leader or someone who is an employee. Everybody is stuck sometime in life. I know I was stuck. And what freed me was when I took my very first self-development program with Landmark Education many years ago in California. And that led me onto a path where I also took the MMI by Millionaire Mind Intensive, by the way, by T. Harv Eker, and then Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield and all of these other programs, because I know that there was a hole in my heart that needed to get plugged. There was a hole in my mind. There was a hole in my soul that I needed to plug up in order for me to move on in life, to be able to excel beyond what I was doing as well. And being able to train people, and I also became a life coach as well, was very was an integral part of my self-development. And it must have been the same with you,
Yeah.
right?
And that's why we're both here.
Yes,
Look at us.
that's right. And we're both now talking.
Both IT technical people now talking here. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, she was an IT, with in a computer-based language. Now she is in consulting and training and motivating in human-based language,
Yeah, human
right?
beings. I like that.
Heart-based language.
Heart base. By the way, they call me IT with a heart.
IT with a heart. About that. When we met over at in Singapore, I said to myself, I need to get to know her much more, to try to find out how we could get her level of enthusiasm and her talents and her wisdom back to the Philippines so we could train the masses, right? Because I don't know about with you, but when I was doing all these programs back in the United States, especially the Landmark Education and the MMI and all those, and I was reading a lot. I read up to about 2 books a month. I mean, I was, what do you call that? A junkie when it comes down to personal development, right? Because I knew that if I was able to change and develop because of the personal development, what if we could be able to take this level of information back home to the Philippines and train the Filipinos? Because there's nothing going on here like that. Or maybe it's in smaller amounts. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe a smaller amount. It's not yet really known. And that's why we're here, I guess.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. So that's why it's amazing that she found her calling to come back to the Philippines from Singapore. I kept asking her, why are you back here in the Philippines? I mean, Singapore, I've been there, and I don't know how many of you have been out to out to Singapore, but it is modern, it's clean, it's beautiful, and to come back to the Philippines, it has to be a calling for you, right? And what's that calling?
Um, yeah, because I think that was last year. I just felt that again, another
Yeah.
question when I was work. It's the same thing. When I was working, I was asking another question, and then suddenly, it's like Singapore is done. It's like, where should I go? And I was asking that question. I was really like stuck again, like in my comfort zone, and
Yeah.
it's like the universe trying to push me again to the next level
Level.
or mission or something. I didn't know, so I asked again. Okay, universe, God, what's next for me? Okay, show me.
Right.
And then there it was. I was kicked here in the Philippines. By the way, guys, I was doing well in Singapore. I was doing a lot of speaking engagements, and I'm, coaching celebrities, Hollywood stars, and those big people, governments, and all. But not in the Philippines. So, but I always wanted to share new learnings. Whenever I go to Philippines, my friends would like, "Hey, JM, what's new? Okay, let me teach you this. I'm gonna give free talk to all of you. This will be amazing, and this will come out next year. So we better catch up now." And sometimes they don't believe me. Like, really? Yeah, TikTok is going great for the couple of years, and we're doing TikTok, and nobody believes us. And now look at that. So yeah, so I started thinking of, wow, what will I do? So I was brought here. I didn't know why until I was hiding actually. I said, I don't want to do training anymore. I just want to have a simple life, and I just want to work
Simple
as a
life.
consultant. And then a friend of mine saw me like, are you here? And I was like hiding. Oh yeah, I'm here. Then he took photo and click. And then after that, the next day somebody messaged me. hey, can we invite you? Because I saw your profile. I saw you were like all over Facebook and you're doing a lot of things and we want to learn from you. And I said, oh no. So there's no hiding. So when I started that and people started knowing me and
Yeah.
and even you and here we are. So I would say I'm not gonna stop because I really have to do this for the Filipino because I guess I am meant to do this. I am meant to share what I have from all over the world or whatever I learned internationally
Yeah.
and bring it here. So I'm here to bring what I have and hopefully it could help you as well as it helped a lot of my friends and my clients. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what you're doing is you want to take the education and the wisdom and all the experiences that you've had from all of the international based training and bring it back here to the Philippines.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you feel that is something that would plug that hole in your heart?
Yeah.
Is it something you feel that you want to do?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like my like when I was in Singapore before going back to Philippines, there's a hole, and then suddenly when I'm back in the fields, like,
Yeah.
okay, go.
That's like your calling, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
said,
it.
oh my God, this is what God has meant for me. It's not only for me to keep these wisdom and these experiences to myself, but to also to be able to share it, right? Not only with the Filipinos, but maybe with a whole worldwide audience, right?
Yeah, I started
Yeah.
international actually before going
Yeah.
back to Philippines. So,
And so tell us, what is your plans going forward here in the Philippines? How are you going to be able to share all of that?
to be always present, like online and offline, no hiding, and to be able to really give clarity to the people, whether it's personal or whatever business, not just technology, just business, to give them like the awareness of there's actually hope for you, and you don't, because a lot of people are like, wow, he's famous, wow, he's good, but it's actually about you. It's like, what do I have to give to share to the world? And that is very important because a lot of people are struggling.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if you have that talent and you're not showing yourself, you
yeah.
might be actually holding back those people. And many people need help, but they don't know where to get that help.
Wow.
And if you just show up and say, hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you how to sew, I'm gonna teach you how to fish. And people would like that simple thing. They were like, oh my God, I love fishing. I don't know how. Teach me. So that's the kind of thing,
Yeah.
like the foundation to start
Yeah.
with. Because of course there are also advanced,
Yeah.
learnings I want to teach, but let's start from there.
Right.
Like clarity, awareness, and where do you want to go?
I really like that because in the Bible it says you could go and feed a man for a day, but if you teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's actually what you're doing here now, right? You're teaching Filipinos how to take care of themselves through a much more developed sense of mindset, of heart set, and so that they will be able to face their multiple challenges head on and heart strong along the way, right?
That's it.
Yeah, and so what would you say as a message of inspiration and motivation for those who are struggling, and what should their next step be?
For me, you just have to believe in yourself that there's actually a hope, and you always think positive. When you think of negative, it will eat you. But at the same time, if you change your mindset to, you know what, I'm gonna get this thing done, and your body, your mind will just like, yeah, we're gonna get this done.
Yeah.
So start with that. Like, and just one tip. In the morning when you wake up, don't ever think of negative. Just think of any positive thought. Like, you know what? I'm gonna drink coffee, and when I see someone, I'm gonna say hi.
Yeah.
I'll always be cheerful or anything positive, even though you're not feeling well or good. Believe me, it will help you. And then do it always. It's a
Yeah.
habit. It's a good habit, and you never know. You'll be getting what you want. So
So how do you do that for yourself? Like when you get up in the morning, I see this video where there's this little girl, right? She's looking at herself in the mirror in the bathroom, and she was like, I think she was like maybe like 4 years old, and she was saying, "I am great. I am beautiful. I am powerful.
Yeah.
I am, you know."
Affirmation is very
Affirmations,
powerful.
yeah.
Like when I wake up, I'm just gonna choose a word. I'm gonna be amazing today, you know. I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna make them smile. Just a simple thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a decision. You just have to decide when you wake up in the morning. It's always a decision to live a life daily when you sleep and when you wake up, what's it gonna be for you? Because
Yeah.
there's only one person who can affect you, you know, who could change yourself. Not outside, but yourself. You know, you just have to change it. Like in the morning, I decide like today I'm gonna be amazing. Today I'm gonna be happy. That's it. And then the rest, and then at the end of the day, am I happy? Oh yeah, and the people makes, you know, they're also happy because they see me happy.
So you assess yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's always like, for me, it's like, what have I done for this day? Did I did well? Did I not? If not, what should I do better tomorrow?
Yeah.
Just like that.
So you're going to be back, you're back in the Philippines and you want to do more training, right? You want to be able to help the masses here, Filipinos, as well as Filipinos and even a global audience. It doesn't have to be Filipinos because, you know, your message resonates not only to Filipinos, but it's the same message that everybody around the world wants to and most importantly needs to hear,
Yes.
right? So you're training. I am, first of all, I am happy to know that she is back in the Philippines and she wanted to train because we're going to work together. Right?
Yay!
Yeah, I really look forward to that. You know, so keep tuned about what we're going to be doing. It's going to be really fun and inspiring, and I'm so happy to be able to work with her in a collaboration sense. And you know what? There's also we have another mutual friend who you work with in Singapore,
Yeah.
right?
It's coming back soon, so.
Yeah, and she might be coming back here to do some training with us. So that's really great to know. You know, so where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Well, I see myself as one of the sought digital consultant or personal development because I call myself as digital transformation coach, not just for digital, but also transform people to
Yeah.
become who they really want to be. So I want to be one of the leaders being, you know, consulted or maybe recognized in the Philippines.
Oh, you're already recognized now. I mean, wherever we go, I mean, some people would say, "Hey, say you JM, let me take a picture with you," right? I think we were at Okada yesterday, and you know, I mean, people were coming up to her and wanted to take photo ops. You know, so I didn't know just about how famous this lady is, and but you know, she's really amazing, and I really do see it in the future as we move forward, either individually or as a collab partnership, that her brand will actually skyrocket, and I really see that, right?
Yeah,
Because
and you should follow my Facebook.
yeah. And so we're going to have a link to her brand and her Facebook and all her social media links right below in this video.
It's just simple. It's just JM the Generous. That's it.
Yeah. Could you spell that out?
That's JM. That's letter J, letter M, and letter D, and then generous, like generous.
Yeah,
That's it.
generous.
That's my website, Instagram, all my social media are named JM the Generous, so it's easier to find. So yeah.
And be generous. I mean, I got to tell you, JM, you have really been generous with your time, with your place. I mean, she actually let me stay here tonight. I think that was really great. And she's also generous with all her resources. I mean, she bought me dinner last night, and I gotta tell you, you know, I think that's great. I mean, this is just who she is, you know, and that's why a lot of people just love her because you give so much about yourself, right? And soon you're going to be on stage sharing your magic and your wisdom and your talent to so many other Filipinos and people around the world. And that's why I feel really blessed to know you and to be your friend and to be your collaborative partner as we both move forward in the future. So, is there any last words of encouragement or advice that you want to share to people?
Another and last, besides believing in yourself, believe that there are people who needs you as well. So be strong and yeah, do it for yourself and for the people who's counting on you. So you're not alone. Okay, if you need help, there will always be help. You just have to ask.
That's great. I love that. So thank you, JM, for being so generous with your time. And I want to thank you out there in the audience for listening in or watching in and for giving us your time to be able to listen to this very inspiring and motivating podcast with none other JM Generous. Look for her in the future. I mean, she is going to be everywhere. She's going to be training live on stage. She's going to be doing online courses. She is going to be out there inspiring and motivating people around the world. And this is the start. So thank you again for your time, and we look forward to having you on our very next uplifting podcast in the near future. Thanks again.